Again, if we ask anyone, one reason we say that which is the most valuable for you in your life, we all say one answer, that is the family, right? And we also mean it, right? Because whatever we are working hard, whatever we are investing, saving, the main reason behind it is to give a better life for the kids and enjoy a better life, right? But even though we say that, either due to a lack of awareness, or because of thinking that nothing will happen to us, because of these two reasons, we all are delaying some most important things, right? Such as protecting our family, right? We are not risk mitigating. We do risk mitigation in all other areas, but there are few areas like having a proper minimum insurance or having a will and trust, right? We saw two incidents last week in Dallas, right? One is where a 36-year-old IT employee, right? When his wife was pregnant, she was supposed to deliver on the next day. He got the heart attack, and that family was alone. That three year or 4 year old kid was without her father when her mother delivered a baby, right? So that's one sad incident. And within 1 week, we saw another incident where both father and mother, along with their friend, right? They had uh, a major accident where everyone died at the spot. And where again there are different stories. Many people mentioned that they don't have will, so that girl is still in the custody. But I also heard that uh, either they have will or not, but still, right? But those two incidents basically moved everyone. But again, we can be in that situation. It is not only that family. One of our friends can be in that situation, one of our relatives can be in that situation, or we may be in that situation. So let's not delay such type of important things, right? We will listen from our subject matter expert. Mark will explain like what are the consequences if something happens, what will happen, what are the risks we are taking, either knowingly or unknowingly, what are the major risks, right? Those things are much important than our our visas, our jobs, but we are taking them very light. So that's the reason we nearly like Mark, who is our guest today. He did nearly 7 to 8 sessions for us, and nearly 50 to 60 families. They did their will and trust since last 1 year. But again, we know that we have nearly 95 to 98% of our community is without will and trust, especially Indian Americans, right? Because we came from a different country, and we are a first generation. Majority of us are first generation here, so we think everything works here in the same way like as in India. So we don't know the consequences, what will happen, because of which we all are taking lot of risk, right? We don't want any other family to be in that situation. So it is not only you. I request each and everyone to share with minimum another 10-20 families, right? Everyone will have minimum 10-20 friends or relatives or someone or other in the entire country. So after this session, please share them what is the importance, why they should have this will and trust, right? Because that is our minimum responsibility, right? We all are very much interested in forwarding GoFundMe links. Whenever we see the link, we contribute, we send it to another 10-20 friends, we share it on Facebook, we share it on WhatsApp. But that is like doing something after all the damage is done, right? Instead of doing something after the damage is done, let us prevent to some extent, right? We cannot prevent everything, but minimum certain damages or certain burden, right? Already they will be in a psychological burden, or they will have that mental stress. Let us not have our families much more stress than what already they will be having, right? By taking some simple steps, these things will not take even 1 hour or 1.5 hours. But I know friends who signed up before 1 year, still they did not complete their documents, right? We delay things, thinking like, okay, we give it least priority. We think, okay, nothing will happen, let us see, right? So that's why we are doing one more session also tomorrow. So again, if you know some friends, you can ask them to join at 6 p.m. CST on the same Zoom link. And please make sure you don't delay it further, right? Within 1 week, we saw 2 families getting impacted. We don't want any other family to be impacted in that way. And now it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Mark, who is the Vice President of NetLaw, one of the top companies which provides will and trust. So thanks, Mark. Thanks for nearly, I know you did nearly more than 10 sessions for the community, and nearly we helped 100 families to protect their families within last 1.5 year. And I know you are nearly doing 10 to 20 seminars like this since last 1 week. But immediately you took my request, you accepted the request immediately. Yeah, you gave the time to educate our community about the importance of will and trust, and also explain like how NetLaw is different from all other competitor products. So it's all yours, Mark. It seems Mark. Yeah, Mark.
Okay, now you should be able to hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We had a little mute problem there. So it's great to be with everyone today. Thank you, Kishore, for inviting me to get to speak to everyone about the importance of estate planning. As Kishore has greatly said, he almost did my whole presentation for me with such a great introduction. You know, the importance of wills and trust. You know, it's one of those things where someone asks you, do you have your will and trust? And unfortunately, everybody says, no, but you know what? I need to do that. I know that I have to have it, and I'm going to do it soon. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't do it. And so it's always my privilege to get to speak to people in the community to show them the value of what I do every day and show the importance of why you need these. So let's get started. What is NetLaw? So NetLaw is an online estate planning tool. And we were created out of a law office in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where I'm from. And what we did at the law office is we did estate plannings for the wealthy. A lot of money to come in, talk to one of our attorneys, and walk out with your estate planning documents. But we were only helping just a small fraction of the community. And what we really wanted to do was take our services nationwide. So how do you do that? The simple answer was technology. Took everything that we knew in all of the years of experience in estate planning, and we worked with attorneys in each state to create a software that instead of going to an attorney's office, you can do this online. And in 2012, the American Bar Association awarded us the James Keene Award for Innovative Excellence. That award is given each year to the company that has the best online delivery of legal documents. Pretty impressive, right? If you're creating a online technology, that's the award you want to win. And we actually won that. We're the only ones that have won that award in the estate planning world. So you think of big companies, you know, massive companies that are our competitors, LegalZoom, Legal Shield, right? They haven't won this award. And this is what we hang our hats on every day, is having the best online delivery of legal documents. So the days of taking off work, your spouse taking work, going and paying a lot of money to talk to an attorney are over. These documents are all state specific and created by attorneys. The software walks you through everything. So as you build your documents, the software changes and creates the document the way that you need it. So let's take a look at the documents that we offer. 90% of what we do is right here in this $600 plan, the Premium Probate Avoidance Package. I'm going to talk a lot about this package, but I will go back and explain all the other ones as well. So $600, remember what I said, in our law office in Louisville, just to come in and get these documents created is anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000. Crazy. You can get this for $600 because all of the work's been done by the attorneys. You don't have to pay the attorneys anymore. The documents that come with it in this program is everything that you're going to need. First one's the big one, the will, right? Everyone knows they need a will. So what does a will do? there's three major assets or aspects of a will. The first, executor. You're going to name an executor. Who's going to handle everything when you pass away? That's the major role of the executor. Who's going to pay final expenses? Who's going to, do turn, right? That's the role of the executor. Very important role. The second aspect of it is guardian. If you're parents of minor child or minor children, if something happens to both of you, who's going to raise your kids? That's the role of the guardian. And third, specific bequest. So you take your assets. Who's your beneficiary for these assets? If you don't name them, the court system will come in and decide for you. That's the three major aspects of a will. Inside the will, you also can do a children's trust. Going back to the guardianship issues, if you have minor children and both parents pass away, do you want your child, when they turn 18, to receive their full inheritance? If yes, that's possible. If not, you can set it to where they receive a certain percentage at a certain age. So maybe, a third of it at age 18 when they're going off to college, and a third of it at 25, right? They're out of college, they're just getting started in their career. A third of it is given to them. And then maybe at 35, they're given the other third. They've probably bought a house by then, started a family, so that third will come in handy. That's what you can do a children's trust for. I know in my case, if I was handed a lot of money at age 18, I probably would have blown right through it. So it's a way for us, even, after we've passed on, we can still help our children grow financially. The third one, power of attorney, right? This is a durable financial power of attorney. And you just name someone who's going to make your financial decisions for you if you're unable to, and not just in death. It's, what happens if you're out of the country or you're out of state and, you're trying to sell your house, right? This person can come in and do that for you. They can make financial decisions for you. I'm going to skip down a little bit to the revocable living trust, because everybody thinks, when they talk about estate planning, will and trust, like it's one document, but it isn't. It's two separate documents. We've talked a little bit about the will. Now let's talk about the trust. The easiest way that I can explain the trust, it's a holding document, and it holds your major assets in trust so that when you pass away, your assets don't go through probate. They are distributed to your beneficiaries right away. If you die without a trust, then you're going to go through probate, and that goes through a long process, and we'll talk about probate in a little bit. But major reason to have the trust is to avoid probate. I'm going to skip back up now to the fourth from the top and talk about our three healthcare documents. The three healthcare documents, a lot of people don't think about healthcare decisions being part of your estate plan, but they really are. Healthcare surrogate is just like a person that's going to play the role of your financial power of attorney, but it's for medical decisions. If you're in the hospital, you're in a coma, who's going to help make your medical decisions with the doctor? Who's going to tell them your wishes, your choices? HIPAA authorization allows someone to look at your medical charts so they can make informed decisions. An advance directive, and it's called living will in some states. Some states advance directive, some states living will. That's your end of life decisions. Do you want to be kept alive as long as possible? Fed nutrition. Or when it's time, do you just want to pass naturally so there's no undue burden upon your family? Your choices, you need to make them. If not, the hospital's going to make them for you. The doctors and the hospitals will make these decisions for you. And it may be something against your beliefs, but it's their role to do that. And the last document, pet trust, right? If you pass away and you have a dog or cat at home, someone's going to need to take care of the animal. You can leave money behind so that that person has a fund that they can draw out of for vet bills, food, boarding, anything like that. Spouse's plan is included in this. So both spouses for $600 can do their complete set of documents. It comes with a life vault. It's a storage facility where you can keep all of your important documents stored at. And we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you go through the program and decide you don't like it, okay, we'll give you your money back. as long as you don't download your documents. So all of this for $600 compared to going to an attorney and paying $35, $4,000, $5,000 for the same package. Same state-specific documents created by attorneys in your state. So that's the $600. That's 90% of what we do. Let's talk about the other packages though, because you may need, or you may know someone who needs these. The only difference between the $400 and $600 package is the $400 package does not include the revocable probate avoidance trust. That's the only difference. The ILIT, the irrevocable life insurance trust for $750. You need a lot of life insurance for this to be a viable option for you. Maybe 5-10 million in life insurance, and then you can put this into the trust. This is only a life insurance trust, and it does help out with the taxes to the beneficiary. The two last column, the $99 packages, I call them starter packages. They're probably designed for someone anywhere from 18 to 20 years old, just getting out on their own, going to college, going into the workforce, going into the military. It only has their financial power of attorney and their healthcare documents. Now, the student package does have the FERPA consent form. That's a form that the student signs, and it gives permission to the parents to be able to call up the school and find out about grades, conduct, anything like that. But that's a great starter package for, like I said, any 20 that are just heading off into adulthood and getting started in the world. Going back to the $600 plan, because that is mostly what we sell. A lot of people come up to us and say, hey, we can't afford the $600. Okay, we have a financing option. It's $60 a month for 12 months. So it does cost a little bit more in the end, but if you only have $60, better to pay a little bit more and get your documents done, because you never know when anything's going to happen. This covers you for the first year. The $600 covers you for the first year. After the first year, it's just $8 a month to continue. That is an optional fee. You can choose to continue, or you can choose to cancel. If you cancel, you lose the ability to go in and edit any of these documents. All of these documents, except for the irrevocable life insurance trust, are revocable. You can go in and change them at any time, as long as you have an open account. I created this slide to kind of bring home why would you need to change your documents after you create them. And these are a couple that I came up with. Change in marital status, right? Remember, I said that this plan covers both spouses, but what happens if you purchase it and you're single, right? And maybe 3 or 4 years later, you get married. You can go ahead and add your spouse at any time then, as long as you have the open account. Just going over a couple of these. Relocation to another state. Let's say you live in Texas, but you get a new job in Kentucky. All you have to do is log into your NetLaw plan, change your address, upload the documents again, and print them out and get them witnessed and notarized. That's it. If you didn't have NetLaw, you'd have to go find a Kentucky attorney and redo your documents and pay another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So you can see the value that this brings right away. Even if you had your documents with an attorney and you just needed to change one document, that's probably going to cost you $300, $400 just to go in and change one document. $600 gets you everything. So hopefully you see the value in this. I'm going to hit on 4 points on why exactly estate planning is so important. We've went through the documents and I've talked a little bit about them, but now I really kind of want to dive into 4 major points. And the first one is, you decide who gets your assets, right? So if you die and you don't have a will and you haven't named your specific bequest, where's my assets going to go? Who are they going to go to? If you don't make those decisions, the court system will make it for you. A lot of people don't know that, but the court system has intestate laws. And that means intestate just means that you died without a will. So the state already has laws that says, if you die, this is how your stuff's going to be divvied out. And it may not be the way that you want it to be. Spouse may get half. and your kids may get the other half. Or maybe your spouse gets half and your kids get 25%. And maybe, your brothers and sisters or your in-laws, they get a piece of it as well. To make sure that your decisions are followed through with and your wishes are taken care of, this is why we do a will. The second reason we do a will, I talked about this a little bit earlier, the guardianship, right? If you die without having your will and you haven't named a guardian, court system will come in again and decide who's going to raise your children, right? And you talk about fighting between families. It's already bad enough that the family's lost the mom and dad. Now maybe the dad side and the mom side is going to fight over custody. That's the last thing that the children need, right? So this is a way to make sure that your family doesn't fight over anything. You're naming who your assets are going to go to. You're naming who's going to take care of my minor children if something happens to us, right? We're taking care of all of these decisions so nobody else has to decide. Avoiding probate. If anyone's went through the probate process, they can tell you right away, they don't like it. It's expensive. You have to go to court. So you just don't want that. So the best thing that we can offer you is that trust. Put your major assets into the trust, and those assets upon death will be distributed to your beneficiaries right away. And your medical decisions, right? If you're laying in a hospital, you definitely don't want to have to decide if mom or dad, did they want you to pull the plug? Did they want to be kept alive as long as possible, right? You don't want to have to guess on those decisions. That's why it's so important that we do these and make sure that, like, again, your wishes are followed through with. That is exactly why we do estate planning. We're protecting your wealth by making sure that your assets go to the right beneficiaries, and we're protecting your health, right, with your healthcare decisions. So why NetLaw? Just wrapping up here. Four reasons that I came up as why you should do NetLaw above anyone else. First, it's personal, right? These are very personal decisions that you're making, and they need to be made by you. You don't want to leave them up to anyone else. Conversational. This is something that you need to let your friends and family know that you have. Hey, guys, I've done my will. I've done my trust. If something happens to me, here's the decisions that I've already made. It's going to stop a lot of infighting, and everyone's going to know your decisions, so there's no reason for any kind of battles between families. Digitals, 24/7 access to your account. We're online. We're available anytime. And this is great because if you use an attorney, they're only open Monday through Friday. What happens if something happens to you on Friday night? You're going to have to wait the weekend to even talk to an attorney. Here, you can get in and print your documents at any time. You can go in and change your documents at any time, as long as you have an open account. So it's digital. You have access to this 24/7. And done, right? 60% of Americans don't have a will. 90% don't have all the documents that come in the $600 plan. And the reason you use NetLaw is we won the James Keene Award from the American Bar Association. So that's so important. I mean, we really do wear that with pride. When the American Bar Association says that you have the best online delivery of legal documents, you want to tell everybody. And that's why I put that on here. We can be reached at this number. This is our email address. Our office in Louisville, Kentucky, we're on Eastern Standard Time. We're open 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. So you can reach us. We have, the phone, the email, we have chat. You can send in help desk tickets. We can help you in any way that you want. But you always want to reach out to the person that invited you to this webinar, whether it be Kishore or anyone else. They are always there to help you as well. So your first point of contact is your agent. And if you need us, great, we're here for you. So Kishore, let me turn it back over to you. That was my presentation. It's really not hard to talk about estate planning. There's just certain points that you have to hit, which documents there are and what they're for. But really, estate planning is pretty easy. But I would like to answer any questions that came in while I was presenting.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mark, for a great presentation. Before getting into the question Q&A, let me quickly give you uh, some specials, right? Especially if you, right, whoever invited you, or if you use one of the links which I will share with you in chat window and also in the emails. So there is a special offer, a buy one get one offer. So that means instead of paying $600 for family, you basically pay, the first family will pay $600 and the second family will get it for free. Then basically both the families can split $300 each. So that is one of the advantages if you can get your will and trust done by this weekend, right? The second advantage, because as you most of you know, I am connected with a bigger community across USA. I can help you to pair up with, um, right? If you don't have, again, I recommend and I suggest that you share about the importance of will and trust with another 10-20 families. Try to get them, get the will and trust for each of the families which you know. But in case if you cannot convince someone, or if you cannot show that value to someone, I can help you to map up with other families where you can share the cost, right? You can send a message to me on my phone number 832-867-8808. Again, I'll post in the chat window. Then I can pair up with another family who is also looking to get it. Another thing which I want to do tonight is basically I I I would like to offer a $25 Amazon gift card for each and every referral, right? Because one thing we are missing is that this lack of information, right? People, one is definitely that people delaying it. The second thing is lack of awareness. So I want each of you to be ambassadors, to make sure every family is protecting other families, so that if you, when you share with another 10 families, right, and if they are signing up using the link which we provide, basically you get $250 gift card. Or if you share with 12 families, basically you are getting your $300 for free, right? Basically, right, the advantage. And also make sure that they are completing the documentation. It is not just signing up. Make sure that each and every family you know are completing the documentation so that they are protected, right? Again, I repeat the offers. One is the buy one get one offer. So for one wife and husband, you are basically paying $300, right, for the first year. Then second thing, if you don't have a companion, you can always reach to me, 832-867-8808, kishore.ramaraju@gmail.com, and I will help you to find another companion. Third thing, try to educate as many families as you know. Use social media, use Facebook, WhatsApp, talk to them, and try to help as many families to get protected so that we don't see another situation like last week, right? And now I would like to open the Q&A. The one top question mark everybody is having is, or many people get confused, will and trust as same. So can you please explain like why a trust is needed? If somebody has a will, just a will
Yeah,
document.
sure. So pretty easy. You know, whenever, like I said, a lot of people think will and trust is one document, but it is two separate documents, and they play such different roles. The reason you need a trust is to avoid probate. That's the reason you do a trust. You put your major assets into the trust so that when you pass away, those assets are distributed to the beneficiaries right away. If you don't have a trust, those assets will stay in probate. All of your assets are frozen, so creditors can come in and take what's owed to them. And probate can last anywhere from 30 to 150 days. So, you know, if you need an asset to sell to pay for funeral expenses or anything, you're not going to be able to get that. That's why the trust is so important.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Uh, Let me go to all the questions one by one. Uh, does one include only asset which is in USA, or can we include international assets? Like, for example, if we have some assets in India, can we include that information in these documents?
You can, yes, you can include international properties into your US documents.
Cool. Do you need to create separate documents for husband and wife, or is it only one document which defines for the entire family?
No, each spouse will create their own documents. The only exception is if you're in a joint community property state, like Texas is, then you can just do one trust for the family. But all the other documents, each spouse creates their own.
Okay. Is there any slides being shared? Ramesh Garu, yes, Mark is sharing the slides, and also I will send the recording to all the members who registered. If somebody did not register but joined the call, they can just email me and I will send the recording to all the members who are on the call. What is the minimum age to be a guardian for kids?
18. 18 is the minimum age.
And also, can they be guardians? Can they be from India or should they be from only US?
They can be from India. And remember, in the program, there's executors and then alternate executors, guardians and alternate guardians. So if you're going to name a guardian from India, it might be a good idea to have an alternate guardian that's in the US, because that person in India may not be able to get over here right away to take possession of the children and until the person from India can get over here.
Yeah, makes sense. Do we need separate wills for each country? I am a Canadian with house, American with house, and OCI with house in India. Do they need separate will or can they include?
It's a good yes and no. No, you don't need to, but I always suggest that if you have property in India still, it's always a good idea to have an Indian will, just to take care of everything so that there's no confusion. So it's a suggestion is you have one for your US and then one for India.
Okay. Is guardianship form alone is enough for taking care of kids when parents are not alive? Does it go through probate?
Is the guardianship form alone enough to take care of the kids? Yes. Yes. That's what you do the guardianship for. When you name a guardian, you're placing that person in the role of taking care of your kids if you pass away. And no, it will not go through probate. Guardianship doesn't go through probate. Only assets go through probate.
Okay. So is it one-time payment or do you have other options?
You can do a one-time payment or you can do a monthly option. Here, let me go back to the screen here. Right here, you can see if you're doing the $600 plan, you can do $60 a month for 12 months. If you're doing the 400, it's $40 a month for 12 months. And these are all one-time fees. But you do have monthly options for the $400 and $600. And remember, the $600 covers both spouses. So $600 gets the husband and the wife their documents.
Yeah. And with this buy one, get one deal, you basically making it as 300, which covers both wife and husband. And one more frequently asked question, Mark, like many members are asking, we can see on Groupon or we can see on Walmart, which will, where we can get it for $50, $100, something. So what is the main differentiator? Why NetLaw compared to all others, which are charging only like maybe $100?
Yeah. Well, you're not good. First of all, you're probably not going to get all of these documents. And if it's $50, then you got to buy 50 for you, then 50 for your spouse. And then you got to go back and find the documents for the trust, because it probably doesn't include a trust. So you're going to have to buy that for both spouses somewhere. Do they, if you're buying it from Walmart, what's the customer service going to be like? We have a full customer service area that's ready to take your call. we won the James Keene Award from the American Bar Association. I know that company that's selling it through Walmart has not. So there's a lot of advantages of using us. We've worked with attorneys in every state. These documents are state specific and all created by attorneys in that state. So, you know, without going through what they're talking about, you know, I can't talk about that product, but I can tell you exactly why you need to purchase ours. And those are the reasons.
Yeah. To bank accounts, adding trust is better or POD is better?
Are they talking about, should you put your bank account in a trust? Is that what they're asking?
Yeah, yeah.
You can, or usually with bank accounts, you can name a beneficiary, and then you really wouldn't have to, because anything with a named beneficiary goes to the beneficiaries right away. They don't go through probate, like life insurance, 401ks, bank accounts, if they have a beneficiary on file. So if your bank account doesn't have a beneficiary, then yeah, you would want to put it in there.
Does 600 get me trust also? You already answered.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Can I create my trust and will even after 1 year of having this account?
Yeah, as long as, you know, if you wait after a year, you'll need to have an active account. So you'll be paying the $8 a month. If you're not paying the $8, then your account's closed and you'll have to, you know, get set back up. And you don't have to pay the $600 again. You know, we would just take $8 times however many months you've been closed, and we'll charge that. But we cap it at $250. So the most you'll ever pay to reactivate your account is $250.
So are these will and trust documents somehow digitally registered with the government, or post the disaster, if someone needs to show whether they should physically show the documents or can they show the digital documents?
Yeah, both. You know, you're going to have your hard copies. Once you go through the plan and you create your documents, you'll print them out and take them and get them witnessed and notarized. So you'll have your hard copies, but then we always do suggest that you scan them into the vault for safekeeping. And you can either use a digital copy or the hard copy. They're valid either way.
Okay. Does this will include the properties assets located in US only? Again, you answered this question. What happens if all the trustees dies together?
Yeah, you know, if something happens and your trustees pass away, you just log back into the system and you name someone else. That's the beauty of having revocable documents. You can go in and change them at any time.
What happens if you make one of your family member as the guardian of your minor kid and that person later refuse to take that responsibility? Do we need to get his or her prior consent?
Well, you would want to talk to that person, you know, before you make them the guardian to say, hey, would you like to be responsible for my children if something happens to me? That's a conversation you need to have before you pick somebody. But let's say later on in life, they change their mind. They just need to tell you, and you can change the documents to someone who, you know, will take it upon themselves to be the guardian.
What if we want to transfer the assets to India? Still, these documents will help them?
Well, these documents are only U.S. documents. So if you're transferring them to India, then you would need to get an India trust.
And what is the security with NetLaw? Can somebody hack the customers' documents on NetLaw systems?
We haven't been hacked yet, so we must be doing something right. But, you know, I'll never sit here and tell anybody that we can't be hacked. I mean, the Pentagon was hacked. So, I mean, yeah, could that happen? Yes, but we work on that daily. To get into anybody's account, you need a username and password. And we're also working on putting in the dual authentication, where if you forget your username or password, then you would get a text with a code, and you'd have to put that code in to get into your plan. So security is very important to us, and we're working on that every day. But as of today, we haven't been hacked yet.
Do I need to renew after 1 year if I don't need to change any documents?
No, it's totally optional. You can keep your account open and pay the $8, or you can shut it down.
And their documents are still valid?
Oh yes, the documents are still valid.
Yeah. So is these documents registered with court?
You don't have to register them with the court, because once you print them out and get them witnessed and notarized, they're legal documents. Now, if you're transferring your assets into the trust, you will take them down to the county clerk's office, because there'll need to be a deed change to your house or a title change to your car, and they will record the trust then.
Does estate planning offer life insurance as well with the chosen plan?
No, that's financial planning. So all we focus on is estate planning. But if you're looking for life insurance, that's when you would want to talk to Kishore or an agent who invited you to this webinar.
Yeah, again, that is one more important thing. Minimum have term insurance. Don't never depend on your employer insurance policies. Right now, most of the term policies are coming up with living benefits. That means if there are any chronic, critical, terminal illnesses also, we are fully covered. So please make sure, just like will and trust is important, even having term insurance outside your employer is also very, very important. And the cost for the term insurance will be less than a weekend party, right? So never think it is expensive or it is much cheaper compared to India. And you are getting nearly like for 35-year policies, term policies. That means approximately if cost of term insurance for a 40-year healthy person is $1,000 for a $1 million coverage, right? So for 35 years, I'll be paying only 35,000, but I have a coverage of $1 million. So in next 35 years, either I have some diseases, any critical, chronic, terminal, or if something happens to me, my family will get $1 million. So we all see numbers, right? So 35,000 versus $1 million. See where, right? There is a huge possibility that we may use that policy. So minimum have term, right? Again, we have indexed universal life, all those other things which are much better investment options. But as a minimum, make sure you also covered with term. And yeah, you can contact me or contact one of your friends who asked you to join this call. When time comes and if both parents are not there, who will log in and print the documents, provided that they know it is being done using NetLaw?
Are we talking about if both parents have passed away?
Yeah.
That would be the executor's role. So, and if the executor doesn't know the login information, they can always call us. And all they need to do is provide us with a death certificate, and we can let them into the account.
Is there any instance of NetLaw made will document disputed by courts or government?
Our documents have been challenged in court, but they've always held up. They're state-specific legal documents, so they've always held up in court.
Is will valid and accepted in India as well? And can we make will for Indian assets and Indian jewelry?
No, this will would not be valid in India. This is only U.S. documents. So, like I said earlier, if you have property in India, it's probably a good idea to have a will at least over there.
Are there any referral bonus for your plans? Again, I already mentioned about it. Again, I want to make sure each one is taking an action, right? I don't want again listening for 1 hour and then again until we see one more incident, Again, immediately you think we should do it. Again, forget about it. So that's why please make sure you do it, and then you refer to another 10, 12 friends. For example, if you refer to 12 friends, then already you are getting your $300 back in the form of Amazon gift card. Make sure you are creating that awareness to each and everyone. Who will own digital documents or hard copies?
Uh, I didn't hear that.
Who will own the digital documents?
Who will own the original documents?
Yeah, who will own the digital documents
Oh,
or
the
hard?
digital, yeah. So the client owns them. They're it's the client's documents. So he has full access to all of that.
What is blind trust?
Blind trust is a financial arrangement. It's like usually it's for people, public offices, and it's something that we don't offer. So I don't want to get into it too much because I don't offer it, and I don't want to give wrong information. But I know it's a financial agreement, for people in public offices.
Okay, if we get our will and trust done for $600 but not renew after the first year, after 2 to 3 years, if we need to make some changes to the will, do you have a process to do it?
Absolutely. You would just call us and reactivate your account. The most you'll ever pay to reactivate your account is $250.
Okay. So what will happen to children if we don't have a will or guardian?
Yeah, if you don't name that in the will, then the court system will decide where the kids go.
How these documents are shared with family members after I passed away?
Yeah, they should be shared before you pass away, so everybody knows exactly, where the documents are and what your decisions are.
When you change a state, do you need to get your will rewritten?
Yeah, you just log into your NetLaw account and change your address, and then update your documents to the new state, and make sure you get those witnessed and notarized again.
Does will and trust cover take care of life insurance amount to kids?
You can put your life insurance into the will, but life insurance already has a named beneficiary, so you really don't have to put that into the trust or the will.
Are there any additional charges if we call to customer service and ask them any questions?
No, absolutely not.
Can the guardian pass the guardianship to another person when the parents are not alive?
They could, because what would happen, well, see, what happened is hopefully they have their will and trust done as well, and if something happens to them, they've named a guardianship to take care of those kids as well. So I think that's what they're asking, is if the guardians pass away, what happens? And hopefully the guardians have their will and trust done, and they've named someone to take care of the kids if they pass away.
Can we transfer the same will and trust to some other service later if we don't like the services of NetLaw?
We can't transfer them anywhere. I guess they're talking about the documents. If you did the NetLaw plan and then you wanted to use a lawyer for that, well, they're not going to take our documents. They're going to charge you to create new documents.
If we have to maintain an active open account, is there an annual fee?
It's a monthly fee. After the first year, it's $8 a month.
Can we use company group legal hired plan to work with NetLaw?
No, we're an individual company.
Do we need to take permission from beneficiaries uh, to add them on the will and trust?
No, no. You can name someone even if you don't tell them.
Isn't there risk in having a trust as it is effective immediate, unlike a will which is effective only after the individual is not there anymore?
What was the first part of the question?
Is there any risk of having a trust as it is effective immediately, whereas will is effective only after the individual is not there?
No, because remember, this will is just a probate avoidance trust. It's only going to away and make sure that the assets get to the beneficiaries.
So after 1 year, if the account is closed, can we still access the documents?
Yeah, you can still access your vault and print out any documents inside of it. You just can't change anything in the technology. You can't change any documents, but you do have the ability to print out your documents.
I have legal insurance from employer, and do you accept legal insurance?
Well, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't accept any kind of insurance. This is just estate planning documents, making sure that you have these documents.
Can we take the hard copy and stop the subscription and keep them in the safe deposit box and let the beneficiary executor know about it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to pay the $8 if you don't want to. You don't have to store anything into your vault. It's just an extra service for you. But yeah, you can stop that and just store it. Yeah, like in a safety deposit box. Absolutely.
What is the recommendation to visa holders with no house in USA? How can they take care of kids via will?
You do need to own property or at least a bank account to have this service. So you do need to, but most people do. If you're over here, you have a bank account. So as long as you have that, you're good. You can do the documents and protect the kids.
Are there any extra charges to make the changes?
In the first year, it's free, right? You pay the $600 and that covers everything for the first year. $8 a month if you want to continue, or you can cancel and come back at any time. You just pay the catch-up fee.
$8 per month, is that fixed for life or can it change after
We
1 year?
don't have any plans to change it. All of our marketing and advertisements have $8 a month, so I can't imagine us changing it.
How many years before NetLaw was established?
We were established in 2011.
So we have nominated our family members in our life insurance policies. So would that not help our nominee to claim the insurance amount?
Say that again. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I think the question is not related. We have nominated our family members in our life insurance policies. So would that not help our nominee to claim the insurance amount? I think,
Yeah.
something unrelated. What if NetLaw files for bankruptcy? Do our documents also?
I mean, you'd still have them in your vault. So the technology really wouldn't go away. I don't know. We're doing very well financially as a company. So hopefully that never happens. Even if it did, I mean, you still have the hard copy, so you could store it on your computer. You still would have all of your documents. So, and the price is right.
How does one verify if the documents are authenticated or original?
As long as they're witnessed and notarized, they're a legal document. If you want, you could call one of our network attorneys and have them look it over, just to make you feel a little bit better about the purchase.
Again, there are a lot of questions about term insurance. You can contact me or contact one of your friends who invited you to this meeting. Which one is better, will or trust?
They're both the best. They're different documents. You can't compare one to the other.
How does the referral work? Yeah, basically you will communicate to all your friends, and once they use the link which I sent, you can send me a message or email with all their names, and once they activate their accounts, you will basically get your gift cards, Amazon gift cards. Does this will and trust cover the items stored in? Does this will and trust cover the items which are stored in the bank safe boxes?
Okay. Does the will cover what?
Does the will and trust cover the items which are stored in the bank lockers? If they have
Only
to,
if you put it in specific bequests. So if there's cash in there, you could, in your specific bequest, you could say items in my safety deposit box go to such and such person. But you would have to name those assets in the will.
can we create a trust and mention that on my death transfer the assets to trust when we have, sorry, can we create a trust and mention that on my death transfer the assets to trust, and when we have created a trust, beneficiary can be our kids, I think.
Yeah, you could do that. Yes.
Can we add investment LLCs and partnerships? Can you add to the trust after first trust is written?
Yeah, you can. You can. And inside the vault, we have funding instructions that tell you how to fund all of your assets, whether it be your house, car, business, So we have funding instructions that tell you how to do all of that.
Okay. Yeah, I think we are nearly done with all the questions. So yeah, once again, I repeat, please take an action. Make sure again you are not delaying until another incident. And yeah, again, my number is 832-867-8808, and my email address is kishore.ramaraju@gmail.com. You can reach to me for any further details, either for will and trust or for any of your insurance or for any other investment requirements. Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark, for your time today.
Yeah,
And
thank you so much. And I appreciate everyone's attendance, and hopefully this was very valuable to you. I appreciate your time.
thank you, Mark. Good night, everyone. Have a nice evening.